Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Zero Hour. We talk about the numbers here from time to time. Let's look at some numbers. More than 100,000 people in this country are shot in murders, assaults, suicides, and suicide attempts, including unintentional shootings or by police intervention every year. More than 100,000 people. That's 100,000 people with families, with lives, with dreams, with hopes, with aspirations. 31,637 people died from gun violence last year. 11,000, nearly 12,000 of whom were murdered. 18,738 people killed themselves. 591 people were killed unintentionally by guns. 362 were killed by police intervention. 256 died, but the intent is not known. Now, let's think about a number like 36,000 people dying from gun violence. Let's think about how this society changed itself after 9/11 when 3,000 people died, one-tenth that amount. Now, of course, you can't quantify the value of a human life, but here we have 10 times as many people dying in a year from gunshot wounds as died in 9/11. After 9/11, the right wing was willing to change everything about our society, and unfortunately, some people in the Democratic side too, but they were willing to suspend the Constitution, give up our rights, agree to an unprecedented level of invasion of privacy and spying on innocent Americans. They were willing to do that over the death of 3,000 people in a single year. Now, they were horrific deaths. Unlike most people who comment on 9/11, I knew people who died that day. I used to work in that area. But the point remains that for those deaths, these people were willing to overthrow our Constitution and our way of life and throw us into needless and destructive wars that caused massive loss of life. Now, for 10 times that amount, not 1 year, not 2 years, but every year, they're not even willing to restore the simple common sense laws that we had a few years ago. Now, let me give you a few more numbers before we leave this subject. 1 in 3 people in the United States know somebody who's been shot. Now, how many people know somebody who, like me, how many people know someone who died on 9/11? On average, 32 Americans murdered with guns. 32. Let me say that again. On average, 32 Americans are murdered with guns every day, and 140 are treated for gun assault in an emergency room. Every day, on average, 51 people kill themselves with a firearm, and 45 people are shot or killed in an accident with a gun. The U.S. firearms homicide rate is 20 times higher than that of the combined rates of 22 other countries combined with similar population statistics. A gun in the home is 22 times more likely to be used to kill or injure in a domestic homicide, suicide, or unintentional shooting than it is to be used in self-defense. And yet we're not willing to enact common sense laws about the possession, distribution, and sale of weapons. Instead, we have nuts running around who want to walk into the local Starbucks or wherever showing their guns. You know what? We need a sanity check in this country, and we need to get sensible gun laws in place before we experience the equivalent of 10 9/11s again this year and again next year. We need to do it right away because people are dying every day. I'm Richard RJ Eskow, and this is the Zero Hour.